Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. Last time, we decided to go all the way over here, and what we did by doing so is ran into a battle. Game? Stop that! We went all the way down in this direction, which I will not go down any further, and we used Wakka's Ball to unlock the next part of the path, which are these stairs, which were not here before. At this fork, we want to head left first, and run into a new enemy. There we go. This guy is the Mandragora, though he looks like the Ochu from earlier in the game. Normally it's the Ochu that's the more difficult of the bunch, but anyway. You can try and beat up on him if you want. You can steal remedies from him. There's not really a whole lot to this guy. He's weak to fire there, so you could use that if you wanted to. He does inflict status effects, so you probably want to be aware of that. The best way of dealing with him is you can either beat up on him like I'm doing here, or you can inflict sleep on him, which means he doesn't get his turn. Pretty easy to get sleep in on him there. Like I said, weak to fire. I'm not even going to worry about casting fire because, let's see, everyone else had a turn. He is susceptible to petrification. And I got him. Since the last episode, I have done a little bit of capturing, about 15 minutes worth. I went down and captured the remaining enemies I needed from the outside, the mountain trail there, which weren't all that many. So yeah, don't worry about that. As far as where those enemies are, they're not really much of anywhere. They all seem to be pretty much everywhere, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of a pattern to them. I caught 10 of each of the monsters in the water, and I managed to grab 2 or 3 lucky frag grenades while I was stealing from them, the splasher enemies. And then I fought around the cave a little bit to get a few more of those enemies captured up. And I expected to run into battle, which I'm pretty much all running away from now in here because I've already captured everything, other than, a little bit of stealing. The other thing to note is those Grendels, the enemies I said they would unleash fireballs. I thought they did like 2,000, they do like 500. They're not very deadly. It's the ones, the Nidhogg's, that are going to do a lot of damage to you, and you don't really run into them all that often, though you can still run into them into the cave. There are separate encounter sets for the mountain path, in the water, and inside the cave. And so all the ones that we gathered that I showed off on the trek up, you should pretty much have all of those captured. The only one who appears commonly in the caves are the Bashura enemies. They come in pairs of 2 now, so they're easier to capture up here. But everything else you should probably capture down there. And then once you get here, you'll want to spend a little while and try and capture them all. They say this is based on size, but if you take a look, all 3 of them are colors. Well, those colors are associated with their colors on the sphere grid. So, green for Riku, blue for Titus, and red, orange, whatever that is for Wakka. It's also size-based in that the green one looks to be the smallest. Don't run away quite yet. There is... Okay, fine, be that way. I don't want to fight you guys, go away. I want to get the treasure chest that appeared that the game tries to make you avoid. Nope. Treasure! A fortune sphere. Woohoo! I will meet you back on the other side of the swimming. And we're back on land here. And you'll notice now there's a path opened up to the left there. That's the way forward. But we don't want to do that quite yet. Now that we've unlocked a couple of paths, we want to go and pick up a couple of things. First thing is this path over here. These were not available, or they weren't there before. There we go. I think that's the last of the new enemies around here. At least I hope so, because I haven't run into any other ones, even in my little bit of off-screenness in between episodes there. The Behemoth, you can use Provoke on him, and he'll only use a physical attack against Titus, which does 2,000 damage, which is a lot, so I don't really want to do that. He's... you can use any spell you want on him. Nothing too much to worry about there. Immune to stone and, what's the other one there? Immune to stone and instant death. Susceptible to sleep. Might be susceptible to darkness too, I can't remember. Let's see. Enriku, you can steal ethers from him. Not that we particularly need those, but I just figure I need a couple people to do some things that aren't physical attacks. Alright, let's see. Will it get rid of sleep and then add it back on? No, it won't. He also casts Thundara. I don't think he casts Meteor. I don't think so. But he's got a decent amount of HP. And Orin didn't get experience because you had to critical. Oh well. I'm not particularly worried if people miss out on the odd bit of experience now and again at this stage in the game. It really doesn't matter. Before we get into the pool there, healing time. There we go. And this one's rather short. We just have one other screen there, and we just need to grab a little bit of treasure, and then we can move on. It's even rare to run into an encounter there. Like I was saying, they don't let you run into encounters on the land when you only have 3 of your party members, because you left the other ones on the other side of the water there, which is very nice of the game. And yeah, so don't really worry too much about that. As far as where the enemies here are more likely to show up, I don't really know. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason behind where the enemies show up for trying to farm them. So what I do is I just tend to run around this save point and go back toward the start of the cave area and try and get what I can out of that. Alright. This one's a funny one because in the strategy guides, it claims this is something else that's not pep talk. It's kind of weird. It's not very good either way, but I just thought it was always kind of weird that the official strategy guide screwed up the name of the item that you get there. Alright, I think the second path in the bit of water up here was just to see the treasure chest, the 2 that we got, the recovery ring and the fortune sphere. But I'm going to go double check just in case. I'll do that off screen. Okay, so I was right. It was just a little spot so that you could see there was 2 other treasure chests to get later on, which we've already gotten. Alright. So now that we've done all that there is to do in the caves over here, so let's move on up here to head out of the area. But before doing that, we have cutscenes.
They'll be upon us soon. She has sent fiends to test our summoner's strength.
Who is she?
Yunalesca.
Lady Yunalesca.
In Zanarkand, she awaits the arrival of the strongest.
She is still alive?
As much as Micah and Seymour.
Sounds about right.
I see.
The whole world is dead.
Lost your nerve?
No. Nothing frightens me now.
Braska would be proud.
I don't buy it,
Then
but
I must not let him down.
she's definitely more determined than she once was. Alright. You can still run into these mechs in here. I don't care. I'm running away from them. I want to make it to that save point. I don't run out before saving. Okay, all healed up and all saved up. I'm not going to go over this in a lot of detail when we do it from now on, but capturing weapons are off. Better stuff is on as far as strength. Oh, except for you. Put that one on. Do pretty much all as we would expect. I would recommend a party of Titus, Yuna, and Kamari or Riku at the start coming up here. Make sure you save. Make sure you run away from enemies we've already captured enough of. And head out of the cave.
It comes!
Well, that was fast. It's not really going very far. It's standing there. I would more say there's a fiend, but it comes? No, I don't think so. It looks pretty scary, and this is a really, really annoying boss fight. Okay, if you cast haste or slow on this guy, he counters with haste right away. So there's one way of getting this through. Cast reflect on him, then we have to find a way of inflicting the status effect. bring in Riku. Special. Use. Now, I mentioned this way earlier in the game. There's a number of those big guys that look like Nidhogg's that if you steal, you can get a rare steal of a silver hourglass. I made note, I believe, of trying to pick one up. It was for now. There's another way. If you, I think, capture enough enemies, you could go back to the Comlands guy and he'll give you 40 for something, but you only need one, and this is it. This will inflict slow on him, he'll counter with haste, it reflects off, and hits me. So we'll bring in Titus here, and we'll get haste to get going here. Now this guy, I was hoping I'd get another turn, because this is his most annoying attack. Because it inflicts so many status effects. And we don't want any of those status effects. Let's see here. Item. Take a look at my remedies. Yeah, I got a whole whack ton of remedies. What Curse does, by the way, is it removes your ability to use your overdrive. So none of us can use our overdrives. That doesn't really matter for this fight, so I'm not super worried about it, but I would like to get it off. The only way to remove it is with holy water. It also cures zombie. But now that we've got haste on, we should be fine. This guy does have a set attack pattern. Normally, he uses the wings, 2 attacks, the Mana Breath ability, which does a lot of damage, and then, depending on if he's inflicted with a status effect or not, if he is, he'll cast Asuna twice, or Asuna once, depending on if he cured it all and we didn't get any more statuses in on him, or he will use Curaga. We don't want him to do that. You can try and use Dark Buster if you want every round, but he's got really high... Wow, that went through. That's the other thing, is every single time you attack him now, he's going to counterattack with haste because he's in slow, and his AI script says, if I'm in slow, cast haste as a counterattack. So we have to watch him do that every frickin' round. The other thing we want to do is we want to inflict... Where is it? Poison on him, and he's got a really high resistance to poison too. He's going to counter with haste. You could have at least hit Waka with it. Jeez. Alright, so let's see. Bring in Orin. We can hit him with Banishing Blade. He has some resistance to, I think, power and magic breaks. But I believe the percentage on this is really high. The only one that's really important is Armor Break. I think he's got like maybe a little bit of resistance to that, but hopefully that all goes through. Perfect, I like that. Poison, power, magic, armor, mental, darkness, and reflect. Look at all the status effects I've inflicted on this guy. Because I've used reflect, Lulu's kind of useless in this fight. He's also got a tail sweep attack that he uses sometimes that is can delay your attack, and it also dispels your haste, or any other thing that dispel would dispel. So kind of be prepared for that. We've already dropped him down a little bit. Probably not worthwhile doing attacks with you. But I'll take that. Let's see. Bring in Waka again. Have Waka do some normal attacks here. But yeah, we've pretty much nerfed this entire boss fight just simply by, you know, knowing how to get around his haste counter. And basically now, once he gets on to use, see, Tail Sweep will hit everyone, and it removes haste from all of us. You'll notice we're moving slower now. So that's unfortunate. Nope. I guess it didn't hit Orin there, because he was still in it. But it's supposed to get rid of your haste. Let's see. Oh, we do want to steal from this guy. Turbo Ethers. And Titus got haste back. That's good. So next thing he's going to do is probably Mana Beam, but he's not even going to get a chance to use it. I think it does like 3,000 damage or something like that. So kind of be aware that he can do quite a bit of damage. The other thing that you can do, at least according to my notes, We'll attack him once. The other thing you can do, the other thing you can put on is threaten, at least according to the source that I was looking up. Let's see if that works. It does work, wow! Which stalls him for his next turn, he won't do anything. There's a lot of ways to nuke this boss. If you're trying to avoid being hit by his wings ability there, his wings of whatever they were, what you can do is you can summon an Aeon, and the Aeon can take the hit so you don't get hit with all the status effects. It's like Darkness, Silence, Confusion, Curse, Sleep. I think that's all of them. But yeah, if you don't want to get hit by any of them, then you can summon an Aeon to block it. Let's see here. In order to overkill him, you need 6,400 damage, and Titus doesn't quite have enough. So I'm going to summon an Aeon. Bahamut, why not? Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. His AI script will call for him to use Curaga, and I think what he'll do, if he's inflicted with Reflect at the time, is he'll cast Reflect on you first, and then cast Curaga off of the Reflect. So there's that option too, but it doesn't really matter because he's dead. I love that the bosses are really hard as we kind of climb Gagazet and head towards Zanarkand, but at the same time, they've put in enough little bits so that the person playing the game for the 4th, 5th, 6th time is going to find some of these strategies, or they'll look them up online depending on who they are, and they're going to figure out that these bosses that were really, really hard the first few times around are a lot easier after you apply some of these strategies, which I find is really interesting. It's nice that they reward people for playing over and over again.
Rest a little.
No need. We reach the summit soon.
I know. That's why I want to stop for a bit. Soon means that there's not much time left.
Nope.
Riku.
Fine. I'll think on the way.
Poor Riku. There we are. And you get return spheres for overkilling him.
Hey, come on, let's go.
We are. Almost there, aren't we?
Almost home, buddy.
We've come a long way.
Yep.
What's so funny?
You remind me of myself. Before, the closer I came to Zanarkand, the more I wondered. When we arrive, Braska will call the final Aeon. He will fight Sin, then die. I thought my mind was made up long before. But when I stood here, my resolve wavered.
Never would have figured. Legendary Guardians choke sometimes too, yeah?
Legendary Guardian. I was just a boy. A boy about your age, actually. I wanted to change the world too.
But you
But
survived.
I changed nothing.
That's why he's legendary.
That is
I
my
think.
story.
No. Your story is off in Kingdom Hearts, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts games. I watched a friend play for a little while years ago, and I just looked at it, I was like, nah, that's not for me. I think I'll pass for now. Alright, so we beat him. Now we want to head back in here to save. And I think we're going to cut it short because there's not a whole lot else I can do. Though you will notice something else is new now. I'll save, sure, why not? Yeah, we'll start up a new file there. Now we have access to these things, and we can warp around. From these ones, I think we can only warp from here to the gate at Mount Gagazet, but from there we can warp to a couple different points going up the hill there. There's, I think, 2 in the cave and 2 on the hill, if I remember correctly. So anyway, there's that option too if you're interested in warping around, if you want to go back or anything like that. They will appear as soon as you finish whatever story events that occur as soon as you leave the area. Just like if you want to go right after being Seymour, you could walk back and you could take on or find one of these right below where you fought Seymour in the previous screen, very close to the save point. But anyway, like I said, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.